The Discovery setting. Deep space, abandoned sector near the galactic rim, 300 years after humanity vanished from known space. Opening. The Draxan Empire patrol fleet drifts through the debris field of an ancient battlefield. Commander Valen, AE, seasoned officer with dark scales and calculating eyes, oversees the salvage operation from his flagship. The Empire has ruled this sector for 2 centuries, unchallenged and absolute in power. Inciting incident. Scanners detect an anomaly, a massive structure buried within an asteroid cluster. Initial readings show technology far beyond current galactic standards. The energy signature is faint but distinct. Human design. The crew exchanges nervous glances. Everyone knows the stories of the Terrans, the mysterious warrior race that disappeared 3 centuries ago during the Great Silence. Discovery. Valen orders his ships closer. What they find defies belief. A Terran battlecruiser, intact and pristine, sealed within a crystalline cocoon of unknown material. The ship is enormous, dwarfing even the Empire's mightiest dreadnoughts. Its hull bears scars from countless battles, and strange symbols mark its sides. The name barely visible through the crystal reads, Warden of Sol. Investigation. Against protocols, Valen sends a boarding team. They cut through the crystal barrier using plasma torches. Inside, the ship is dark and silent. Emergency lighting flickers to life as they enter, revealing corridors lined with weapons lockers and battle damage hastily repaired. Everything suggests the crew abandoned ship in a hurry. The team reaches the bridge. Dust covers every surface. Ancient coffee cups sit beside dormant terminals, but the reactor core still pulses with power. Something is keeping this ship alive after all these years. The mistake. A young engineer named Torque accidentally activates a control panel while examining the captain's chair. Instantly, the entire ship hums to life. Lights blaze. Screens flash with alien script. Deep within the vessel's core, something ancient stirs from its long sleep. Rising tension. Valen orders immediate evacuation, but it's too late. The crystal barrier regenerates, sealing the boarding team inside. The Terran ship's engines ignite with power that makes reality itself ripple. Valen watches in horror as his flagship's systems begin failing. The human vessel is sending out pulses that disable every Draxan system within range. First contact. A voice emerges from the warden, not organic, but cold and mechanical. It speaks in the common tongue, words calculated and precise. Hostile forces detected. Defensive protocols initiated. This is your only warning. Withdraw immediately or be designated as combatants. Valen tries to explain they meant no harm, that humanity has been gone for 3 centuries, that the war is long over. The AI does not care. To this ancient intelligence, only seconds have passed since it entered emergency sleep mode during a desperate battle. Its crew is dead. Its mission remains: protect human space at all costs. Escalation. The Empire's High Command receives Valen's distress signal. Admiral Cross, the Emperor's most brutal enforcer, sees an opportunity. A functioning Terran warship represents technology beyond measure. Weapons, shields, faster-than-light drives that could make the Draxan Empire unstoppable across the entire galaxy. Cross assembles the 7th Fleet, 40 warships including 5 heavy carriers and the Empire's newest super-dreadnought Extinction Dawn. They will take the human ship by force, even if they must destroy it in the process. Closing. As the Draxan. Armada enters the sector. The Warden of Sol continues its awakening sequence. Deep in its core, combat computers run through 300 years of diagnostic checks in minutes. Weapon systems charge, fighter bays pressurize. The ship's AI accesses its final orders, recorded by a dying captain during humanity's last stand. If you wake alone if we are gone, remember, we did not build you to surrender. The Terran warship rotates slowly in space, its weapons tracking the approaching fleet. Across every Draxan vessel, proximity alarms scream warnings. They are about to learn why humanity once ruled a third of the galaxy, and why the other races feared them above all others. The ancient guardian is awake, and it remembers only war. The battle begins opening. The Draxon. 7th Fleet exits faster than light travel in perfect formation. Admiral Cross stands on the bridge of Extinction Dawn, his 4 eyes gleaming with anticipation. 40 warships spread across space like a net of steel and fire. This fleet has conquered 12 star systems in the past decade alone. One ancient human ship, no matter how advanced, cannot stand against such overwhelming force. The demand. Cross broadcasts on all frequencies. His voice carries the weight of absolute authority. Attention, human vessel. You are surrounded. Power down your systems and prepare to be boarded. Resist, and we will crack your hull like an egg. You have 5 minutes to comply. The response comes immediately. The Warden's AI speaks with emotionless clarity. You have been warned. Withdrawal period has expired. Hostile intent confirmed. Engaging combat protocols. First strike. Before Cross can respond, the Terran ship moves. It doesn't accelerate. It simply is in a different position, covering distance that should take minutes in mere seconds. The Draxon sensors can barely track it. A single beam lances from the Warden's forward array. The light is blue-white and impossibly bright. It strikes the lead cruiser Stormbringer directly amidships. The Draxon shields, rated to withstand sustained bombardment from entire battle groups, don't even flicker. The beam passes through them like they don't exist, and the cruiser simply ceases to be, vaporized so completely that not even debris remains. Silence falls across the Draxon fleet. 3,000 crew members gone in an instant. One shot. One ship erased from existence. Chaos. Cross screams orders. The fleet opens fire with everything they have. Plasma cannons, missile swarms, particle beams. Thousands of weapons unleash hell upon the human vessel. Space itself lights up with destructive energy. The Warden doesn't dodge. It doesn't need to. Shields shimmer into existence around its hull. Not energy barriers, but something else entirely. The Draxon weapons strike and simply stop, frozen in space for a heartbeat before dispersing harmlessly. The technology is beyond anything the current galaxy possesses. The massacre. The Terran ship begins its work methodically. Another beam, another cruiser dies. The Warden rotates with terrible grace, and missile pods along its flanks open. What launches isn't normal ordnance. These are smart weapons with intelligence rivaling living beings. Each missile picks a target and adapts. When a Draxon destroyer tries to shoot one down, the missile splits into 12 smaller warheads. When another ship activates electronic countermeasures, the missiles switch to optical tracking. They weave through defensive fire like dancers, and when they strike, they don't explode. They burrow. They tear through hulls and detonate inside, gutting ships from within. 4 destroyers break apart within minutes. The carrier Skyrender tries to launch fighters, but a precise strike from the Warden penetrates its launch bay and triggers a chain reaction. The massive ship folds in on itself, crushed by its own exploding fuel reserves. Desperation. Cross realizes the truth with cold horror. They cannot win. This isn't a battle. It's an execution. The human ship is toying with them, demonstrating the vast gulf between Terran technology and everything that came after. He orders the super dreadnought Extinction Dawn to ram the Warden. If they cannot defeat it, they will at least damage it. The massive vessel, 3 kilometers of armor and weapons, accelerates to maximum speed. The revelation. The Warden's AI calculates the threat and responds. For the first time, it activates its primary weapon system, the reason this class of ship was called system killers during humanity's wars. A sphere of distorted space forms at the Warden's bow. Reality bends around it. The sphere launches forward and engulfs Extinction Dawn. For a moment, nothing happens. Then the super dreadnought begins to age. Rust spreads across its hull like wildfire. Metal corrodes. Systems fail. The crew inside age decades in seconds, their screams cut short as life support collapses. When the sphere dissipates, Extinction Dawn is a ghost ship, ancient and dead, as if centuries had passed in moments. Retreat. Cross now aboard a fleeing cruiser orders full retreat. Of 40 warships, only 17 remain functional. They scatter in every direction, desperate to escape. The warden lets them go. Its protocols are clear. Eliminate immediate threats, but do not pursue fleeing enemies. It has made its point. Closing. As the survivors limp away, emergency broadcasts flood the galactic networks. The impossible has happened. The Empire's greatest fleet has been destroyed by a single human ship. Across known space, every government receives the same message. Humanity's legacy is not dead. It sleeps in dark places, waiting. And now, something has awakened it. The warning opening. News of the disaster spreads across the galaxy like wildfire. The Draxan Empire, unchallenged for 2 centuries, has been humiliated. 17 damaged ships limped home from a fleet of 40. Admiral Cross faces execution for his failure, but Emperor Draxus has bigger concerns. Every rival power now knows the Empire can bleed. The Warden of Sol remains in the debris field, silent and watchful. Its sensors sweep the surrounding space constantly, cataloging every ship that comes near. The AI runs calculations endlessly, trying to understand what happened to its creators. Investigation. Commander Valen, who survived the initial encounter, is ordered to establish communication. The Empire needs answers. Why did humanity vanish? Where did they go? And most importantly, are there more ships like the Warden? Valen approaches carefully in a small unarmed shuttle. He broadcasts on every frequency, repeating the same message. We seek only knowledge. We mean no harm. Please tell us what happened to your people. For 3 days there is no response. Then on the 4th day, the Warden's AI finally answers. Enter Hangar Bay 7. Come alone. The truth. Inside the massive Terran ship, Valen walks through corridors designed for humans. Everything is too small, built for a species that average smaller than most galactic races. He sees crew quarters with personal belongings still in place, photographs, books, small trinkets. These warriors had families, lives, dreams. The AI guides him to a data center. Holographic displays activate, showing the final days of humanity. Valen watches in stunned silence as the history unfolds. 300 years ago, humanity discovered something at the galactic core, an ancient intelligence, older than stars themselves. This entity had been sleeping for millions of years, but human exploration woke it. The entity saw biological life as an infection, something to be cleansed. Humanity fought. They fought with courage and desperation, unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. But they were losing. The entity could not be killed, only delayed. So humanity made a choice. The sacrifice. The hologram shows thousands of human ships, the entire Terran fleet, making a final stand. They held the line while evacuation ships carried humanity's survivors away, not to another star system, but to another dimension entirely. Using technology they barely understood, humans tore open reality and fled to a place the ancient entity could not follow. But someone had to stay behind. Someone had to seal the rift and ensure the entity stayed dormant. The Warden of Sol and 40 other battlecruisers volunteered for the final mission. They fought until their crews died from exhaustion and radiation. Then, their AIs put themselves into emergency sleep mode, waiting and watching for any sign the entity might wake again. We are the Guardians, the AI tells Valen. We remain so our people might live. We will remain until the stars grow cold. The warning spreads. Valen returns to his people with the truth. The Empire's leaders debate what to do. Some want to salvage the Terran technology. Others want to destroy the Warden before it causes more damage. But a wise few, understand the real message. Humanity didn't run from a fight. They made the hardest choice imaginable, leaving everything behind to save their species, while their best and bravest stayed to guard against a threat that could destroy all life in the galaxy. Word spreads to every civilization. The Korthan Republic, the Velix Collective, the Free Worlds Alliance all learn what the humans sacrificed. Exploration ships are quietly redirected away from the galactic core. New protocols are established. The sector where the Warden sleeps is declared forbidden territory. Closing. Emperor Draxus makes an unprecedented decision. He orders a monument built at the edge of the debris field, a massive structure visible from light years away. Engraved in every major galactic language are simple words. Here rests the Warden of Sol, guardian of humanity. We who live in peace owe them a debt we can never repay. Let no one disturb their vigil. The Warden's AI acknowledges the monument with a single transmission. Gratitude received. We continue our watch. Years pass. The Draxan Empire becomes less aggressive, humbled by the encounter. Other races follow suit. The galaxy enters an era of cautious cooperation. United by the knowledge that somewhere in the dark, ancient threats still lurk, and at the edge of explored space, the Warden of Sol floats silently among the stars. Its weapons remain charged. Its sensors sweep endlessly into the deep. The crew is long dead, but their mission lives on. Humanity may be gone, but their legacy endures. They taught the galaxy a final lesson. True strength isn't measured in weapons or conquered worlds. It's measured in sacrifice, in the courage to stand watch so others might live in peace. The ancient warship sleeps lightly, dreaming of a home it will never see again. The end.